Hi everyone, welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. Today I have the 3 things I wish I'd have known before I started working with alcohol inks. Now the first one I want to cover are the surfaces, because you can't just put alcohol inks on any surface. It's not going to work for you. So you really need to think about what you're going to put them on. You can put them on anything non-porous. So what do I mean by that? It's not going to soak in. You're going to rely on evaporation. So you can know that Ranger do special papers for them. You've got things like alcohol ink, cardstock, Yupo paper. But what are these surfaces? So I did do a video post-creativation of all the new surfaces that Ranger have available, and you can check that out in the top right-hand corner. However, I'm going to do just a quick kind of whiz through and a couple of do's and don'ts. So when I'm working with the alcohol ink, you can work on that new black alcohol ink cardstock from Ranger. You can work on that beautiful new silver glitter screen printed cardstock, or on something like a mirrored cardstock. So these are a couple of those kind of off-the-wall options. Typically, we tend to work on our Yupo paper that comes in a standard weight, a translucent option, or in a heavyweight option. Or we work on our alcohol ink cardstock, which is a glossy cardstock. This actually is not non-porous. It's actually an incredibly porous cardstock, but it does work with alcohol inks. You also have the hardcore art panel options, and these come in tons of different sizes. Of course, as always, links in the video description for you, so you can check those out too. Now, a lot of people always ask, can I use photo paper? Because that's just glossy cardstock, right? It's not the same thing. Now, you can work on photo paper, but you are not going to get the best results. I still say go for the right stuff. Use the best materials, you're going to get the best results. Photo paper is tackier, so you're going to get a different result again. It doesn't have a nice thick base. Your alcohol inks are going to tend to just go straight through it. It's more porous. You're not going to get those really nice kind of movements and designs. When you start working with your isopropyl alcohol blending solution, you're not going to get that movement in your alcohol too. So I suggest not working with photo paper. Some people will say, oh, you can work with photo paper, it's fine. Yes, you can do it, but you're not going to get the best results. So today we're going to work on glossy cardstock and on Yupo paper. Yupo paper is an acrylic paper. It's made completely from plastic. You can't tear it or anything. You can die cut it, you can trim it, you can do all those kinds of things from it, and you can stamp on top of it. The next thing is the ink themselves. Now there's different types of alcohol inks, different brands out there, and then within those brands there's obviously different subsets. I'm going to talk mainly about the Ranger ones. So we have just our regular normal alcohol inks. These are the ones I work with most of the time. These are the ones we're used to seeing, and they come in a huge rainbow of colours. Then we have the new alcohol ink pearls that were launched at Creativation. These are a pearlized version of this ink, and they have a pearl substrate in the bottom of them. And before you use them, you're going to want to give them a shake. You can hear there's a silver ball in there, and that's what mixes up that pearl. Then we have mixative. This is very different, and I'm going to put it on paper in a minute and you're going to see the difference. That is not the same as this pearl. And then you also have some other kind of sub-brands. So you have things like your Copic refills or your alcohol marker refills. This is also alcohol ink, so you can use that instead of this regular alcohol ink, and you can pop it down and you can make patterns. So if you have alcohol marker refills, you can use this instead of using your alcohol inks, or as well as you can mix those in too. You will get the same results. So again, another option for you. Now the third thing I wish I knew, and I'll come back to using the inks in a second, is about the difference between using isopropyl alcohol and alcohol blending solution. These are not the same things. Now, first safety tip is you can spray isopropyl alcohol. You can even buy it in spray bottles like this. You cannot spray blending solution. It has a resin in it, and Ranger do not recommend that you spray it at all. So do not spray this one. Even though you can buy misters and things for alcohol techniques, you don't spray your blending solution, you only spray your isopropyl alcohol. Now the difference of using the two, this one blends your colors together. This one removes alcohol. So if you want to bleach color, remove color, any of those things, you're going to use your isopropyl alcohol. If you want to blend colors together, do blending techniques, you're going to use your blending solution. That's the difference. You cannot use your isopropyl alcohol to blend colors together. It's not an instead of, it's an either or. They do very different things. So let's pop some down on paper and you can see what I mean. I like when I'm doing a direct paper technique to put some blending solution down first. So that's what I'm going to do, just a little squiggle like this. So when you work with alcohol inks, and I'm just going to show you quickly the difference between them. So if I pop down, this is my regular alcohol ink, and you can see I start to get some really nice movement on here. I'm going to do the same also on the glossy cardstock, just so you can start to see the difference between them. So with the Yupo paper, it's completely acrylic. And so on the Yupo, I get more of the kind of puddling effect. On the glossy cardstock, I get more of that spidering effect. Now I'm going to take some of that alcohol pearl. Again, you can hear you need to give it a good shake up because that mica will stop in the bottom. But this is going to behave like an alcohol ink. It just has a pearlescent shimmer in it. So again, I can add that in. You get some beautiful kind of dance in it with that mica shimmer, but it's going to behave like an alcohol ink. It's going to dance, it's going to spider out, it's going to absolutely behave like any kind of alcohol ink. Also, alcohol inks will mix together. So you still need to think about your color theory. You still can get mud, you can get all of those things. Now the metallic mixative, again, it has that silver ball inside. It's metallic, but it does not behave like an alcohol ink. When I put this down, this color is going to stay exactly where I put it. It's not going to spider, it's not going to move. And typically we would apply it with a felt applicator. But you'll see here when I put down just a drop, just a dot, that dot stays exactly where I put it. Just a dot, just stays. This one's a little bit clogged. So of course, you know I'm going to grab my craft pick to try and unpick this. So I'm just going to pop that in there just to kind of loosen it up a bit. So you see that stays exactly where I'm putting it. So that's not going to spider, it does not behave like an alcohol ink. So that's the difference between using a mixative, using an alcohol pearl, and using a regular alcohol ink. And if I add now blending solution on top of this, you can see you get different effect again. So that's what gives you that effect. Whereas if I put a spray of my alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, this is how it's going to remove color. You see it completely bleaches that away. So there's the difference. You either blend or you remove. So they are the three things that I wish somebody had taught me before I started working with alcohol inks. And again, this was another viewer requested video. People have asked me to do more videos on alcohol inks. If you have a viewer request or it's something you'd like us to do here on the channel, drop them in the comments below. I would love to know what your favorite alcohol ink tip is, or something maybe you wish someone had told you before you started working with alcohol inks. As always, links to everything I have shown you today is in that video description below. Do check those out and do become a channel perks member, because Ranger is one of our channel perks members and you can get 10% off at the Ranger store. You can join in that top right hand corner. We have a link up there for you, or you can hit the join button down below too. Thank you so much for joining me here today at Hedgehog Hollow. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And I'll see you again tomorrow with maybe another tip, trick, tutorial, or something else. We'll see you then. Happy stamping. Bye.